God, it's me, God, and welcome to God Talk. This week we're going to be speaking...
Velvet.
No, God.
Bad
God,
Velvet.
God. Oh.
No God Talk. Naughty Velvet.
No.
I believe what you mean is, oh, girl, it's time for another episode of Girl Talk, which for this week we have Velvet back because apparently we didn't really record that much while she was busy. So
because we can't keep to a fucking format.
You know what? People wouldn't listen to us if we kept to the same format all the time. That's what makes it chaotic. So, spoiler alert, we do have Velvet this week. She's still quite busy, but slightly less busy than usual, so we thought we'd get her on. We also have dearest Jim Buddy Glenn. How you doing?
Hello. I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm alive. I'm very much enjoying that you've got your webcam on and your beautiful doggo is in the frame right now. So.
Yeah, he's just ate his dinner and he normally comes for a stroke until he belches in my face and then leaves.
He's
like many of my dates.
Yeah, is that not just your Grindr profile? Sounds about right.
Like
this
sex with you.
Oh God! Nobody wants.
Oh God!
Oh God!
It's me again.
Not again. Anyway, enough about us three. Most importantly, this week we have a very special guest, recent winner of some local competition, Reese Wetherspoon. Hello, my dear. How are you doing?
Just May. It's me, Just May, and welcome to Just May Talk.
Oh my God, I would listen to that.
That wig, like, basically, listeners, I was going to say viewers there, and I'm like, nope, that's not what a podcast is about. But, yeah, before we started...
not on this.
No, we're not. We're not getting to see our faces. We're just doing webcam.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Oh, yeah, you can take it off.
Of the recording, I was wearing a wig.
I'm just wearing my silly hat because I'm touched in the head, basically. But yeah, Reese was wearing a very, very wonderful ginger wig that was reminiscent of local artist Pebble Dash or Drag Race star Just May as context.
Somewhere in the middle, really. Is that not just Reese's?
For the purpose of the tape, it was human hair.
Mm-hmm. It was not a 40-inch unit, though.
Did you pluck each of those hairs out individually in some kind of love fight?
Yes, for the purpose of the tape, it was a hand-knotted wig. Wigs by Reese. Take my word for it.
Someone should get Velvet a wig, really, so...
Well, yeah, because it's not valid drag unless I have a wig. We established that in Drag Idol.
Or a judge.
They only let me be a judge so I could, because I said I'd clean up afterwards. It was fine.
Makes sense. I mean, it's cheaper than getting Chris Howe to do it, isn't
it? At least it fucking gets done. Right.
Anyway, speaking of Drag Idol, naturally, first and foremost, congratulations, Reese, on your recent win of Drag Idol. Very well done. How have you been finding the reaction to that so far?
I'm still in shock, I'm not going to lie. I think you all saw. For the purposes of the recording, I was doing a shocked face. I was very shocked. Like, going into the final, I literally thought, like, okay, I just want to get second place. That's like the best I can get. So when we got to top two, I was like, yes, I've done it. I'm second. And I wasn't second.
That's a strong top two.
Then you weren't second. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I was devastated. No.
Just wanted another silver medal. Damn it.
So
I love how inconsistent your collection is now. You're like, damn it, what this bloody gold one?
Messes my colour scheme up.
Just go to Chris Howe, like,
participation winner.
Yeah. No, dude, it's knocked off the whole feng shui.
Other than winning Drag Idol, what was your favourite part of the experience?
Favourite part was definitely the flex offenders. As we're now called. Our government name is Hi, it's me, Chris Howe, and I'm a registered flex offender. It's too big to put on posters. That was the highlight for me. We met up like every single day, apart from Friday. We had a day off on Friday. We were all sewing. And that was like the 1 week that I wasn't worried going into it, like on the day. I was like the 1 week that I knew it was going to be good. That was a nice week.
It was definitely good.
It was alright. And then we got off stage and we all had a moment as a team and I shed one tear, which is a lot for me.
Has anyone tried collecting your tears? Because they're so like magical and rare. Because obviously there was some at the final and I'm pretty sure I saw Bipty with a tiny little like glass vial trying to capture them for future use.
I should sell them.
Shit.
That's merchandise. Reese's tears. It's like healing
Reese's
properties.
Go to Reese's bathwater, but then I'd have to have a bath. That's a whole other thing.
That's a terrible idea. Wouldn't recommend.
Not enough money in the world to put me in a bath.
To be fair, though, the Flex Offenders was absolutely incredible, and I love the branding. It's the fact of that you just went, no, that's the name, and that's what we're going with. And then the joy of interviewing you for Snatch Talk afterwards, where you were just saying that you were just nodding and smiling when Penny was like, oh, I think I get what the actual name means. And everyone was like, yeah, sure, that's what it means. It's totally not some bullshit we came up with.
Whatever she wants it to mean, that's what it means. If it puts us through. If it saves us from murder on the dance floor, then yes, it means the DJ thing that she said.
I just love it because I'm like, is there actually a reason behind it? Like, because I thought it was flex as in, when someone flexes, as in they try something and they don't quite make it. Is that what it was, or is it just, I don't know.
Again, I'm going to say yes if you think that's what it was. It's open to interpretation. It was Bipty P's idea. I think it's obviously a play on, registered.
Hang on, on the YouTube video, don't they make a comment about sound effects or something and you all nod?
Yeah, that's what
it was not that.
I hear it now.
Yeah, they said that, and then when I was interviewing them for Snatch Talk, they were like, "Yeah, we were just nodding and smiling." We were like, "Yeah, whatever." It's not that at all. But...
We went through a few names. We started out as we were Team Pebble, we were Blonde Barrel Baddies, and then we couldn't say no when Bipty said, "Hi, it's me, Chris Howe, and I'm a registered flex offender." Especially when we knew that we didn't even know they were going to do the whole the voice announcer thing. We found out on the night, we were like, "Oh my god, it's going to have that voice saying it's me, Chris," and Chris Howe had to get that custom made.
That's even better.
I just love everything about it, and the fact that you and Bipty pretty much were the ones trolling the competition through the whole way, where it was the idea of you were the ones who weren't taking it as seriously as other people, as in you were basically having a laugh and being like, let's see how far we get, And I think it was just wonderful that you were doing so well, you didn't seem overly sort of, oh well, I've got to cater to the judges and I've got to do this, that and the other. I mean, Bipty just tore Penny T apart for the entire thing, and
every week,
which is still one of my favorite things in the entire world. The escalating nonce gags will stay with me forever, I think.
There was a point where Penny T said to Bipty, "Do you actually hate me?" Is this an actual? But it was done with love. We were both having a lot of fun. It was It's fun. It was fun this year. It's fun when they like you. It's fun when you do well.
Do you think it helped you diluting yourself a bit? Because obviously, I loved you last year, and I loved what you did last year, however chaotic it was. But it's the fact of you. It's the fact of when I look back at it, I'm like, oh yeah, this was 100% Reese all at once. And it was basically and then this year we kind of went, okay, let's add a little bit of water to this. And then possibly we'll get 50% Reese every week,
No, I'm glad I did it this year because it was a good challenge to do, because they always want a story. And I never really do stories. I just do I just call it performance art, where it's a song, but I make it weird. So to be kind of forced to do something where it's beginning, middle, and end has helped, because now I can do stuff that people understand a little bit more.
But
I hope.
Well, that's it. But I absolutely loved it. But were there any parts of the competition that you found particularly tough this year?
I think week 2, the Gordon Ramsay was probably our worst one. And it was the one that I was most excited for at the start, because I thought, this is it. This is the best one.
Yeah.
But then I realised that it's not much of what everyone else is doing, a story. And then Gordon didn't go on a narrative. He didn't have an arc. He just had bits. He just had swearing bits with Kylie Minogue.
I mean, it's I love the concept, but it's the fact of it was meant to be Impressions Week, wasn't it? And then you were like, I've got some samples of Gordon Ramsay, and it's is that enough? It
was very Princess Diana. I kind of wanted to make it more I wanted to make it like Gordon Ramsay, but drag, but it just turned into a wedding dress. I see it now.
Princess Diana. I can't
should've
understand
come
that
up-
now.
There were 3 of us in this marriage, so it was very crowded.
Would you ever do a
Should have done that. Maybe I would have
re-stemption?
won.
Would you ever do a re-stemption of that performance?
I did a, I did a Princess Diana performance,
Oh my god.
just in the same wig, and that worked better. Then they told me I looked like Gordon Ramsay in that one.
Well, I like that you brought it back at the final. In the final, you were just like, oh yeah, I'm doing my Gordon Ramsay number again. Like at the beginning of your life.
Oh, well, I was gonna do for the redo. I was gonna do like multiple things. I was gonna do like I'd come on in that gown and do the Gordon Ramsay mix and be like, oh wait, hold on a second. I put on a chef's jacket over the gown. I still look nothing like Gordon Ramsay. And then I would have done that. I was gonna have a whole thing where they make me lip sync to Murder on the Dance Floor, and I do it. It's all coming back to me now because I wanted to have the pussycat wigs like baby, baby, baby. Then I changed to live very last minute, which I'm glad I did. 'Cause they wouldn't have had me winning doing Murder on the Dance Floor.
I mean, do you think that's it? Like, do you think that, you know, because obviously you and Bipti in the final were so very close. Like, you know, it was the closest tie, you know, I've ever seen. And then, you know, I do think you taking that risk of doing live and doing so well at it was what pushed you over the edge, because it was so spectacular. Like, I was sitting there with Teresa and Hanaconda, and they were in fits of laughter for the whole thing. It was like, everyone loved it.
I'm glad I chose to do that. And I look back and I'm like, why was that not like my first thought? Because I started making like a stupid mix where it was like a reference to each number and like a big lip sync. And I was gonna bring Delta on for Murder on the Dance Floor, and we were gonna do bits, and that would have been fun. I was like, I'm just relieved that I chose live.
Yeah.
If you could sort of offer any advice to anyone, like maybe just a single piece of advice, what would you say to somebody who wants to enter next year?
Don't do it. Get a real job.
In Newcastle, on the drag scene, what's a real job?
I think stay true to yourself. Don't do what's been done. Obviously, still make it like they want a story. They want a 3-minute telling a story, but you can still do you. You don't have to do like the same kind of maybe tropes that a lot of people have like felt they had to do.
Somewhere in the middle. You want a balance of you, but presentable.
And they care more about like not the look, but like the accuracy of the look if it fits the performance. Like, it doesn't matter if you have like the most stunning outfit if it doesn't fit. Because I had like my nice dress for the Gordon Ramsay thing, but it would have been better if I just literally wore like an actual chef's costume.
Yeah.
Even if it's not necessarily a better look. It's not a look-based competition, which is very nice because you can do it cheaply.
Well, yeah, I think this is the great thing, because it's basically the only time when they bring up the look is when they've got nothing else to criticize. So when they're like, hey, that was really good, but you didn't look right, rather than, hey, that was amazing, but I'm not really getting this kind of look, you know, that's what I think I would suffer with, because who cares how good you look if you're not entertaining, you know? Like, that's my philosophy.
Well, they don't really treat outfits or makeup or wigs like that much to like you can still get far even in like a shit wig or like not the best makeup or whatever. I mean, look at me. So
hey, I got to the semi-finals.
It's all about the performance.
So, do you have any behind-the-scenes gossip that you could share with us from the competition?
Oh no.
Yes.
Spill the tea.
I think we were all actually like good friends in this cast, which was surprising. Like, there was actually no drama. I don't think there was any arguments in the cast. I'm trying to
Were there
make
any
one up now, make
stupid
someone look
moments?
bad. There were a lot of. I'm trying to think of the non-stupid moments now.
I'd say that it was mostly stupid moments, I think.
It was when we're doing our like intro bits, you know, when we're like on the Drag Idol curtain and we have to do like movements, like the little clip. I knew it was like that 2-second clip that was in the YouTube thing. And I was just doing my move that was like, I just started doing that because it was so silly and funny. Then Chris Howe just kept filming, like he wouldn't stop. I swear it went on for like at least a minute. I was just doing that the whole time.
Please stop, Chris.
I think he wanted me to give more variety.
No.
And you staunchly refused. You're like, no, this is all I'm going
What
to do.
else? Oh, and then when we were rehearsing in Boulevard, I was just me and Alex, who was like the sound and lighting technician who did very well. And we were like playing my video, and then Chris Howell walks in with his dog, like the moment that Chris Howell's on my screen as RuPaul. So that was a nice thing for him to walk into Boulevard into.
I think the great thing about this year, like you're saying, there wasn't really much animosity. Like, you know, there's obviously been like sort of joking digs at like Bella B. Campbell and stuff, but it's the fact of like there's no animosity there. It's the fact of it's basically all kind of taking the piss in a kind of like that was a thing, you know, that happened kind of thing.
No, it was all jokes. Bella B. Campbell was happy with her mentions in our mixes that we did, because I did Where Is the Love by Black Eyed Peas, and I had Bella like, Where is love? Where is love? I've asked myself that since week 1. Which she enjoyed, so I'm glad. But I think we're all actually friends, which is nice, because that was what I wanted this year. Like, it sounds very... I just wanted to make friends.
Geniality.
Because last year I was like, oh, I just really want to make friends, because I saw the 2022 cast how they all bonded. I was like, oh, I'm going to make some new friends. And my only thing was like saying I'm better than everyone else and doing a shit performance. I didn't really give the best impression, but this year I've actually made new friends, and we're all like closer friends because we've been through it together. That was nice. That's all I wanted.
And you proved that you were better
Cash
than
prize
most.
is nice. I don't say that anymore. I'm humble now. We've closed the better than most chapter. We'll
She's
say
in a
better than...
congenial era. She's taking both crowns.
Well, I went through so many different 3-word combinations. I just wanted to be different. So I was watching like a lot of old years, and it was like, this queen is camp, gorgeous, and stupid. This queen is stupid, gorgeous, and camp. This queen is stupid, camp, and gorgeous. I wanted to just not say camp. So I was gonna just say like vote Green Party as my 3 words. Vote Green Party. Her. Gonna say worse. What did I say? Vampy vegetarian virgin. Which is all true. I'm a vegetarian apart from when I eat meat. I'm a virgin apart from when I eat meat. And I'm vampy apart from when I eat... I don't know what vampy means even, but I just said I'm vampy. What alliteration.
I quite like it. It's a lot of Tinder profiles. It's, you know, you've pretty much sorted all of them.
Look at this fish I caught. That's 6 words. You have to do 2 years.
Well, you have, to be fair.
I'd love to do a Tinder profile that was basically
So far.
just that, just me and loads of big fish pictures, but like all photoshopped because I've never been fishing in my life. But
Do a Tinder profile as like your drag idol pictures.
oh god, can you? No, this is the problem though. I don't know if you've had it, but like whenever you like, there's weird bots or whatever on Facebook that whenever you set up a Facebook profile and you say it's female, you suddenly just get all these lechy messages, and literally it's like I have a female Facebook account that I don't use anymore, but like it's just full of like weird men sending messages to me and cockpicks and stuff, and I'm like, I am a bald man in a dress. Like, you know, it's like, wait.
And they're like, we know, we still like it.
That's what they're into.
Yeah, it's just so strange though. You're just kind of like going, I'm pretty sure that this is just a robot, but then it's a real person. But yeah. Anyway, moving on.
I get the questions. It's like, oh, what would you do if you found me in your bed? My best.
That's it. Burn my house down. That's my solution. But now we're talking about Drag Idol, but this isn't the first competition you've like entered or won for that matter, because obviously last year we had the wonderful Drag Idol UK that you were part of at the Northern Run. And tell us about the competition that you won previously last year.
Oh, so I did. There's a competition called York Pride Drag Race, which I won. It was like just after I lost Idol last year. So it was nice to bounce back.
Yeah.
And it was really nice. I think the York drag scene is very like underrated because it's just a lot smaller in York. Like there's not one like gay bar in York. So we just kind of take over like the upstairs of Yates for like once every 2 weeks. But it's like the best talent still. They just don't get like as much opportunities as we do. So I like to consider myself like a York. I consider myself a York queen and a Newcastle queen and a Loughborough queen.
Yeah.
And a Leeds queen. I just like to be included.
Would you say
So I
you're
like to
queen with non-dom status?
I think that's a sex joke. Is that a sex joke?
Oh,
I'm
Velvet, you explain.
Non-dom
Did you call me a
states.
submissive York queen?
I mean, to be fair though, Reese, that's like 4 competitions in 2 years. Like, is there something about the competitive aspect that draws you in? And do we need an intervention?
Please, my name's Reese and I'm an alcoholic. That's a separate thing. That's a very special episode where I have a relapse. Competition. I mean, one part of it is I just like the attention.
Hmm.
Like that's the main thing. Because this year, like Drag Idol, I was like, if I don't do it, I know I'm just gonna get like FOMO because I just like to be included. Obviously, specifically Drag Idol, I kind of wanted like a redemption. And I was nervous because I thought I'd just go home like week 1 again.
Hmm.
But I couldn't not do it because I feel like I'd regret not doing it because and I also like that it pushes me like every competition, like with Drag Idol UK as well. It pushes you to make new numbers because you have to fit a theme or you have to fit a 10-minute slot.
Hmm.
And especially because I've done so many like performances in Newcastle. Usually for every competition, like the judges have already seen me, so I'm like I have to make a new thing, and then I'll leave every competition with like a lot of new bits, new songs,
Yeah.
and I'm sorted for whatever shows.
Wait, isn't that wonderful? Like, I loved getting to bring my Be Prepared number back for the final after party and being like, that's crazy that I did that as part of a competition and now I can just sort of bring it out and be like, oh, there's a number. I don't really need to sort of make a new one. And I think there's something wonderful that you get that as well as that sense of camaraderie that you've experienced, at least this year, from the rest of the cast.
And I do kind of like the competitive aspect because I have like when you have low expectations of yourself, you're just always happy. Like people say like there's people who go home like week 4, 5 or whatever, or they get to the final and don't win, and they call themselves like a loser. But I'd be like happy, like I'm literally in every competition. I'm just happy to get past round 1.
Yeah.
If I lose week 2, that's not even a loss for me. That's like I made it past one thing.
Obviously, you've done a lot of competitions in drag, and there's a lot of reason for that. The camaraderie, the performance, the attention. What about your actual drag in general? What sort of inspires it?
That's such a good question. I just like to sew is the main thing. I started sewing like before I did drag, which it was self-taught, which explains a lot because I taught myself in like one of the lockdowns in uni. I actually started like making outfits out of shopping bags. And look at me now, 2 years later, making outfits out of shopping bags.
IKEA
Slightly
bags.
better outfits.
Slightly better
The
bags.
budget's gone up a little bit.
Yeah, they're IKEA bags now. I mean, to be fair, that people's reactions to it, like the judges were like, "Are they IKEA bags?" I kind of love it, and it was this wonderful impact that outfit had.
I didn't expect the IKEA bags to go off so much because I like sometimes I buy like a nice fabric and do like a proper thing. It's the cheap IKEA bags that got me, which is a metaphor for life. You don't need money, and I just like with the IKEA bag, I just like to look as weird as possible. Obviously, for some shows, you have to be like for the straight audiences, you can't come out in like the IKEA face key, you have to be very like, here's a Kylie Minogue song.
Yeah.
But I like to do like the weird stuff, and like now I feel like now I've developed kind of a character. Like with some audiences, I'm allowed to be weird because they get it. Like a lot of people couldn't just like sit down for a full 30-second intro because everyone would be like, "What they're doing?" They're with me, they're like, "Oh yeah, she's weird." She's like, "Oh, so silly." So I kind of have a pass.
Just a quirky girl.
I mean, I
have a pass to do weird bits.
Sorry, I have shown my straight friends the beginning of your live, and they've all laughed at it. Just the idea of you just standing dead still for Karma Chameleon, and just being like, "I'm a man," and then it's just stopping, and it literally connects with everyone because it's just so dumb, and it's something I've talked about for a long while. If you milk the joke for not long enough, it doesn't land. If you do it for like too long, it's bad. Whereas it's the perfect timing of it just goes on a bit too long. And you know when to do the punchline, and you have such a knack for it.
It's the best feeling because I always think deeply about this stuff because I'm like, there's people like cheering and laughing at at me just standing there.
Or lying there. You've got range.
Or sitting down.
My favourite thing
How-
is standing, sitting, and lying down.
How did you find your funny bone? Because you do have such a dry wit. Even like I remember, like from the Drag Idol UK, doing that "stop it, silly goose" thing like throughout, and then you did your stand up for the final. Like, where did it come? Where does this come from?
I feel like when I started drag, I thought I was just going to be like a normal dancing diva is what I think that's what everyone has in their mind when they start. And then I tried to dance. And then I kind of I started doing like funny mixes when Dixon Stones finally taught me how to do mixes so I didn't have to just do a full song. So thank you, Dixon Stones. You save people from a lot of stand and sings. a lot of stand and dance. She saved the world from that. But it was still kind of like, I want to say normal mixes, but I don't know, like not as crazy as I am. It was when I started doing stand-up, I think, like with Drag Idol UK. And then the judges like, oh, you're awkward, but we like that. That's when I kind of built on it. Because I feel like I'm a very awkward I don't know what issue, what it is about me. I feel like I'm an extremely awkward person. And it's hard to be a drag queen when you're this awkward, and I feel like I'm just trying to lean into it and make it work, rather than try and be like a normal person who can do social interaction bits. Because I feel like if you go so far the other way and just lean into it, it's kind of become okay.
Well,
Yeah.
do you find it makes it easier when you're just being yourself, like rather than going, oh, I've got to put a mask on, or I've got to write all of this as a character?
Yeah, like the more weird I get, the more like people accept it more. And I like to think I'm representing for all the awkward people in the world, that they too can do drag, even if you can't have like classic banter.
No.
There was one time when I went to Aldi recently and I didn't use the self-service checkout. I went to the one we have to speak to a person. I was like, I'm cured.
Drag us
Someone
help.
voluntarily.
Please use that as the example of how
I'm
winning
fixed.
Drag Idol has helped you. When people are interviewing you, just be like, I was able to
That's
go
built
to
my confidence
Aldi.
I'm flying close to the sun.
Now, I wanted to ask, like, now, obviously we had this in Drag Idol, but you're from a Persian background. Like, what impact has that had on your experiences growing up as a queer person?
I kind of didn't really realize that I was until like uni, which everyone else realized many years before. Like we see pictures of me in sixth form, because in sixth form we just had to wear like business dress, so you had to wear a suit, but you could wear any suit, and I had literally like at least 40 or 50 different ties. I wear a different tie every day. But I was like, no, I like girls, and I was like looking back, like maybe they were right. So I only kind of realized in uni, and then like obviously the Persian half of my family don't know. Well, I've not told them, but they might suspect. I like to think I hide it well.
Not
They
the
don't know,
eyebrows.
like it's probably probably. My dad was like, "Look, what's happened to your eyebrows?" I was like, "Oh, look at your eyebrows." For the purposes of the tape, good eyebrows don't run in the family.
But like,
So like the Persian half of my family don't know. I don't know how they'd react, because obviously in Iran people get like most of them still live in Iran now, and in Iran people still get like people have been killed like by their family for being. I don't think I get killed by my family. They're not like, but they're not gonna kill me. But I don't know what they do. So I want to wait until I'm like proper successful until they find out. So then at least it softens the blow a little bit.
yeah, I
Because
mean,
there's one thing coming out as gay and another thing coming out as a shock queen. Is
yeah, I think it's like coming out as
That's
gay and
worse.
coming out as unsuccessfully gay. I think it's
yeah.
Oh, you might have like a full Priyanka moment. And that was part of her story. Was like her dad thought he was dating a person called Priyanka. It's like,
Yeah, he asked me if I got a girlfriend. I said, yeah, it's Reese Wetherspoon.
well, at least he thinks he's
He
fallen
loves
on your
Legally
feet.
Blonde.
She's got great brows.
Our
She used
babies
to have
will have
great
proper
brows.
eyebrows.
Imagine they come out with drawn-on eyebrows.
Where it just comes out with none, and then the doctor just slaps it and then puts the eyebrows on.
And their first words like, "Yeah, I'm alright, actually."
Yeah, this is the future gay people want.
Oh, you're not even wrong. This is why the straights try to keep knockers down.
It's the future they deserve.
It's the future we all deserve. Babies with drawn eyebrows.
But I think that's crazy though. Like, sorry to dwell on the Persian aspect of the family and, like, you know, being from Iran. It's the idea of just how, like, you know, for us in England, it's very much easy to forget about all of this because we have this level of acceptance where we kind of, you know, we can just come out, we can just sort of be our true selves in terms of being gay, at least. And obviously this is the fight that the trans community have at the minute. And it's just kind of, it always feels so far away, like, oh, that's a totally different country, or that doesn't really affect us, that we still have all of that shit going on. And I think it was very powerful getting reminded of that, like, at such a queer event like the Drag Idol final, and, you know, you bringing that aspect in and being like, because I think we all need that wake-up call of going, the battle's not over. It's like, we're in the eye of the storm here, where it seems calm, but the rest of the world is still a bit fucked.
Yeah, I like to say it a lot because it's like a lot of like Persian, like Asian people, even in the UK, obviously are very closeted because of their families. So I want to show like people can be Persian and do drag. I still just wanted to do it in a funny. I didn't want to be like, oh, look at this is what's happening in the world. I wanted to be like, no, Iran rhymes with Padam. But the message is serious, but the delivery was jokes.
Yeah. And I think that's it, because it's got me questioning things. It's got me wanting to bring it up and things like that. And I think things like that start a dialogue, however they do it, are incredibly important.
And the power of humor, though, isn't it? Like, if you get people laughing about something, they remember it, and then once they stop laughing, it sticks in their mind. So it's probably the most clever way you can do is by rhyming Padam with Iran, and then going, right, now fucking think about Iran, you bastards.
And can I have a working microphone, please, Chris? Thanks.
Oh yeah, they did say it would be live. There was meant to be a stand, but then you can see like when Padam comes on, I'm like, oh, where is the stand? But Gladys was very helpful, and the tech people were very. I don't want to dump on the tech people. The tech people were very helpful. Alex did very well with my lighting and everything, so thank you, Alex.
He is so hot, not gonna lie. Like when Ravens were meant to be doing Drag Race, like went and like did all the light and stuff, and then cut. But it was like 2 days before lockdown came in. Us thinking it was still going ahead, did all the lighting with him, and I was just like having proper like bum flutters, like thinking, "Hi."
You sound like Lewis. That's a behind the scenes moment when we're in the dressing room for the final. It was like the 4 finalists, and every man who walked through, whether it was like Alex came through a lot, or the dancers, even Chris Howe at some points probably. Every time a man walked past, Lewis just looked at me like.
So we know who the Blanche Devereaux of the Drag Idol cast was.
I think she made it clear.
There's always one.
I mean, it's not like she hid it. You know, one of those things where, you know, someone says, "Oh, this person's a slut," and you're like, "Really?" Like with Lois, I'm just like, "Yeah, no, that tallies."
It's definitely Lois and Dixon were the sluts of the scene. If Lois and Dixon got a team tweet together, I think they just have sex on stage.
Rampant scissoring, that's what we'd get.
While
They'd maybe
that
have to
walk
start.
plays in the background.
They'd have to start charging entry, I think, at that point.
Well, for him.
Someone. I don't know.
It'd be like a drag idol version of sex where they wouldn't scream their names, they just scream, "Oh, Penny T's a fat nonce." And all the drag idol lines.
I mean, it would be an interesting one. How was that? Better than most. I tried 3 times.
Oh God, why is that going to happen next year? If they listen to this podcast, you know exactly what's going to happen next year.
And then who's going to clean it up? Chris Howe.
That's it. Wait, this is.
He loves it. My favorite thing was like in Teams Week when Bella's team did like the whipped cream thing. Then they were getting their critiques, you just see Chris Howell crawling like in between their legs, just cleaning up the whipped cream.
It's this thing of like, could you wait until maybe after they've left the stage? But he just kind of crawls
I felt
on
so bad
as if
because-
no one's going to notice, and you're like, we can all see you, Chris.
Imagine being a contestant and you're hearing the judges say, "Oh, this is maybe your worst week," and you've already got that going on. And you look down and Chris Howell's just like, "Don't mind me."
Yeah, just between your legs. You're like, hang on. Insult to injury.
I don't know how many people want Chris Howe between their legs, but Drag Idol 2020.
But they got it.
Exactly.
And so we've talked about, like, obviously there's a lot of contestants that are on the stage, particularly one very horny top 4 contestant who was looking at all the blokes. But you yourself identify as asexual. Was there a sort of separate journey to discovery of that compared to like coming out as gay, coming out as drag, and then coming out as a shop girl?
Yeah, I think obviously coming out as a shot girl is the hardest one to do.
Should be.
I mean, people have disowned you for that, haven't they?
Yeah, I'd hate crime myself for being a shot queen. Asexual was a separate thing because I was just always very like, just never really into it, like going that far. I just thought I was kind of like shy. Then it's kind of more recently, like I've had a lot of talking stages, and I've been that's my deep things that I've been when I'm doing like an emotional lip sync, and you have to think of emotional things in your life. I just think about failed talking stages because I've had quite an easy life. So that's what I have to draw on. Like it's all coming back to me now, thinking about that one Tinder guy. That's why it was not a very emotional performance. And it's just recently there were like a few guys, and I was like, they're really hot, and they wanted to like. I can't even say it.
Scissor
So
your
naughty.
timbers.
They wanted to scissor my timbers, and I was like, I really don't want to. And I was like, but they're hot. Why don't I want to? And that was kind of it. So I guess they're still hot. If you're listening, I didn't say who it was. I was gonna be like, oh, there was one guy recently who's my asexual awakening, and he's here tonight. He wasn't.
Special guest for our special guest.
I do kind of love this idea of like the joke that you made in Live Week, which was, obviously sort of like, oh, I had one guy who was my gay awakening and then another guy who was my asexual awakening, which is the most backhanded compliment you can ever give to someone, I think. But like,
it's true. Yeah, the gay awakening was really hot, and then the asexual awakening just got to step it up a bit.
I think you should get him a T-shirt. Like, I was Reese Wetherspoon's asexual awakening.
All I got was this lousy T-shirt.
All I got, like, I would wear that with pride if that was me. I think that's a good idea.
I mean,
That's the merch idea.
Well, I've got some news for you now.
Yes.
I mean, admittedly, when I was growing up, I had a friend who, yeah, she went out with like 3 guys while I knew her, and all of them ended up being gay from a point of not knowing that they were gay at all beforehand to afterwards. And she was like, "Am I a gay factory? Is that what I am? Is
Did
that
she
my
have an
X-Men
incredibly?
power?"
She got a really
She needs
nice
to be
penis.
stopped.
That
We've got
why.
too many gays.
That's
It's just something about her. It's the 10-inch dick.
So obviously in the drag community, sometimes there can be quite a lot of heavy sexual content and things of a sexual nature. But do you have any tips for any fellow asexuals who are wanting to navigate such environments?
It's hard. It's mainly like, it's not even like queens on the scene mainly. It's like, I want to call them like NPC customers. When you're selling shots, when you're selling shots and it's like a show or something, you get like, it's just people from the scene, it's your friend, it's great. And then you get like, on like just like a Saturday night when there's like nothing going on drag-wise, you get the NPCs like, oh, I won't have a shot, but I'll give you a shot of me. And it's like, haha, they're talking about cum as the shot. That's the joke they made.
how amusing.
I just like to take, if they want to take advantage, I'm going to take advantage back. Because they're like, oh, I'll buy some shots if you give me your number.
Yeah.
So I've given a lot of fake numbers. And I've sold a lot of shots. So I'd like to apologise to the people getting phone calls from fucking Eric from Bobby's. You're beautiful, you.
Randy Eric. Oh, you sold me some shots. You know what I want to do to you? Drink some more shots.
If only you knew what their like mum's number is or something, and just made it really super awkward.
Put in Chris Howell's number.
Yeah, oh god, do that. Just always give them Chris Howe's number.
No, just give everyone Lois's number. She'll love it.
You could even rotate them between Lois and Dixon, like, you know. Just have their numbers on a load of cards, shuffle them, stick them in your back pocket, and you never know which one you've given out.
I'll put them on. Oh, Dixon's busy today. You can have Lois.
That's it, you know. Help. #help.
Be that him.
Eat out to help out.
Oh. But
I'm not feeling very helpful.
I will say though, on the subject of asexuality, it is something that I've kind of struggled with a fair bit because I'm not asexual, but then when I meet people who are, it is something that I actually honestly struggle getting my head round, and that makes it very difficult to deal with like asexual people because you know that thing, like, because there's been so many times when I've like been chatting to someone who is incredibly attractive and then they're asexual, and there's just this frustration.
It's a waste, isn't it?
It's not a waste, but it's that idea of like you're chatting to them and then you just kind of like, oh, and I think that I'm going to get somewhere, and then you're like, no, I'm not respecting them. Like, it's this weird thing of like it's, and I see myself going like, oh, it's a phase, or it's, oh, they just haven't met the right person yet, and you're just like going, hang on, there's horrible parallels that you can draw to things like, transphobia and homophobia and stuff, where you just go, hey, I'm basically not respecting what they're telling me, whereas what they're telling me should be their truth and their law. And there's so many times when I have found myself just being like, oh, it's, he doesn't mean it and stuff, and you're like, no, I don't know. Does that make any sense?
I don't really understand it either, because I think I get that people are attractive, but I just don't want to. Yeah. Oh, what did you say? Sesame timbers.
Sorry, I've got to start making up euphemisms for sex.
I don't know. Maybe it is a phase, but for the right price, it could be a phase. But I don't. No, I'm doing all right. I'm good.
Yeah, but that's it. You've got £500 from Drag Idol.
It's all right.
Great. It's tax free.
Still saving up for my air fryer.
Are you saving up for your air fryer?
That's all I want. I really want to get a mortgage, but I don't know how to get a mortgage. I just want to walk in the bank like, one mortgage, please.
Hello, I would like a mortgage.
If you've got enough money in the bank, they'll probably do exactly that.
One mortgage, please, if there's no trouble.
Did you actually win money for Drag Idol?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Oh no, the problem is in previous years it's always been a bit shit because it's always been like 250 quid, and you're like, everyone has spent £1,000. Like everyone, all the contestants have easily spent that, so it's basically the winner gets to be compensated.
Hang on,
have you seen our outfits? No one spent £1,000.
BBC Drag Race give badges out that Velvet could make on a 3D printer. Yet Newcastle Drag Idol, you get an actual £500.
Yeah.
Well, it was £300 until last year. Then it went up this year.
Yeah.
For me, losing last year was strategy.
Thank you, accountancy.
Yeah, bring it up in line with cost of living. Oh well.
But I'm really happy we got to touch on the asexual subject, because that's something that I find fascinating. That's definitely something in the queer community that I want to kind of learn more about, because I don't think it gets talked about enough. So I'm really pleased that you sort of raised that discussion during Drag Idol.
Well, I don't think the asexual want you to touch on them, so please don't.
This is your intervention.
My intervention.
This is why we're doing it on Discord.
Yeah.
Go on, Reese, sorry.
But I think advice for asexual should be advice for like anyone, even if they're not asexual. You just have boundaries because there's a lot of, I don't want to say creeps, so we'll say the NPCs. There's a lot of that on the scene, whether you're in drag or if you just, I'll say fruity. It was hard when I started going out to be like, stop, because I don't want to be like rude, but you have to just realize that if people are being creepy, you can just like stop and shout at them.
Yeah.
And once I started shouting at people on shot shifts, I enjoyed it so much more.
Yeah.
I literally shout, "Stop! I'm 16," and I'm like, "Sorry for getting so emotional."
It is weird though. I've had it where, like, you'll get someone who will be drunk and they'll inappropriately touch you, and I found that the best solution is literally just to be very loud with them so that everyone looks in the direction and immediately they just go, yeah, everyone's looking at me because I'm a sexual deviant.
That's what I do now.
Yeah, and it
I never
really
wanted to
fucking
make
works.
like a scene before, because I thought it'd be awkward to make a scene and then still try and tell shots. But now you just only you just shout, "Stop!" Maybe I'll swear a bit if it's like some guy. I'll shout "Stop," and then I'll just turn around to the next person. Like, anyway, any shots?
So,
Like a palate cleanser.
But do you find that, like, not being as sexually focused as a lot of other people, like, does it help you focus on your drag and other aspects of your life?
Yeah, I like to think so. I mean, I don't really spend time. I don't have like relationships. I don't know if I'm aromantic or not. But I could not imagine myself on a date. But maybe that's just my personality. But I would like to do like a YouTube series where it's like me on dates.
Yeah,
Being
I'd
myself.
watch that.
I think
I'd
it'd be
love to watch
brilliant.
that.
But I don't actually do it in real life. So I would just rather sew. Sorry.
The song,
Hello, ladies.
the song's not going to cheat on you, to be fair.
Yeah, the sewing machine's not going to well, I was going to say it's not going to let me down, but it can let me down. I've put the sewing machine through a lot.
Well, to be fair, like, one of my favourite stories of this year's Drag Idol is the fact that, like, on the day of the final, you helped out Bipty with their dress. So you made your biggest competition's dress for them, and then on the day of the final, went round to their house to change it to help their performance better. I mean, I can't think of anything that says class act better than that, basically.
Well, what I kind of felt stupid about was like when I was planning my things, I'd bought fabrics. I knew that I wanted to have the Iran dress and I wanted to have like a red dress to reveal from. And then we were just talking in the Flex Offenders group chat the week of the final when I was about to buy fabrics. And then Bipty said that she wanted to have a red reveal dress. So I was like, okay, I can do that. And then when I was making them both, I was like, oh no, I've made hers better than mine. Because I just thought she's probably going to win and I really want her to win and I want it to be like as good as it can possibly be. And we were friends. We were like friends of what we were closer friends after the competition. We were friends, like after I lost last year, she spoke to me. She said some really nice things. She made me feel better, and it was an emotional time. So whenever she wants a dress, I'll get on the sewing machine.
Like, Glenn, do you have any questions regarding sewing? Because obviously Glenn is our little sewing sorceress.
Oh yeah, but Glenn's
wizardess.
trained. Glenn's had industry training.
It's this thing of obviously like Glenn's like, oh, I'm going to go and take a course. This is my Glenn voice, by the way. I'm going to go and take a course in sewing and stuff. And we were like, oh, okay, that's cool. And then now he's just posting all this stuff, and we're like, that's really good. Like, you can just make a shirt, you can just make a bag, it's really amazing to see the glow up.
To be fair, I find like with sewing, like once you get some of the basics, your brain kind of automatically starts making links between other things and being like, oh, so when I made that, I can now do this because when I did this, I can just twist it and do something like I learned to make a tote bag in the class. And then when it came to Christmas stockings, I was like looking at the pattern thinking, well, that's shit. That's a stupid way for them to tell us how to do it. I'll do it the way I did the tote bag and then could like line the stocking really well. But no,
I've been taught like all the proper ways now. So you could look closely at my stuff and see all of the non-industry standards of mine.
Oh, my sewing teacher's scary. Like, I dread showing her stuff because she'll just sit and look carefully. And now I've got her on Facebook, and I'm like, she can now zoom in. Like, this isn't on.
Did you get around it before by just holding it really far away from her?
Once I did actually. Once I did show her something where like I'd messed something up. I think it was on a collar, but I knew it was going to be hidden anyway once it went on. So I held something up. Oh no, it was a pocket. And so I like showed her, but had my thumb over that bit, and then later on went back, went, sorry, just to double check. And then my thumb wasn't on the dodgy bit. And then she was like, then she just stopped. She looked, she went, you hid that from me. I went, yeah.
Sly dog.
When will the lies end, Glenn?
Have you got a fabric you would avoid?
You mean like looks wise or sewing wise?
Both.
I prefer non-stretch fabric now. Now that I used to be scared of non-stretch, but it just goes through the sewing machine so much better than stretch. No, I don't really do stretch now, so I like to think I'm advanced. But I think I just have a bad sewing machine.
Try a roller foot. Have you got a roller foot?
I don't have a roller foot.
I'll
I'm
send.
poor.
I'll send you a link.
I can't even say that now because £500, but there is that fabric, you know, at the brunch the other week when me and Tony are wearing those pink things.
Yes.
It's that fabric. That's my least favorite. It's my favorite in terms of that it's very stretchy and it looks nice. It
Yeah.
just will not go through my machine. It turns out it's a cheap machine because I used one of my flatmates. It was a proper industry machine, and then it was kind of fine. So I'm kind of like maybe I should invest in a better one.
Got 500 quid towards it.
Ooh.
I think because I've taught myself, obviously I can do stuff, but none of it's like the way they do it in the industry. So I think Glenn's teacher would rip me apart. But like when making outfits for other people as well, that's how I've learnt a lot of new things. Because they always ask for stuff that I've never done before, and I'm like, okay, you've seen my things. Who do you think I am? But then I always I'm willing to learn it for other people. Like I feel like I put more effort into other people's outfits than my own, which maybe shows. But then once I've done something new for someone else, I'm like, okay, I can do that technique for me now. That's stolen.
I think that's natural though. When you're making something for somebody else, you want it to be better. Because if you're putting it on yourself, you're kind of just like, oh, I'll live with that. Oh, it's fine. I can hide that later. But yeah, when you do, I get stressed with the thought of doing stuff for other people. Like, my master's to make her curtains. And I was just a bit like, yeah. And then I was like getting stressed because I wanted them to be perfect to the measurement and look really good.
That's why I still do mine very cheap. Then no one complains.
But do you do a lot of your own patterns and stuff then, or what? Like,
Yeah, I measure it all out myself.
see,
It's like
I'm
I
just
don't
not brave enough for that.
I don't get like actual patterns, but I'll get the measurements and I'll like fully measure it and sketch it out like custom.
Oh, yeah. See, I'm very anal with patterns. Like, I've got to use a pattern before I try any of that mad stuff. Like,
See, I'm not very anal. Hey.
That Glenn said that he's not either, though.
oh no, I said I am.
Very anal. And with that, shall we have a little bit of a segment?
Welcome, lowest common denominator.
Yeah, the men's segment. With this being a little spin-off, we don't do the usual regular games that we do on the men podcast. What we do instead is we have a section called One for the Dads, which is pretty much everyone
just for Glenn.
Yeah, just for no. Glenn's more into twinks. I'd say One for the Dads is probably more me. Yeah, it's pretty much just everyone brings a really crap dad joke, and we decide who's the best of the worst dad jokes. So I'm going to pick on Glenn first this week. What's your dad joke of the week?
Oh, I'm struggling to find one. I can't really think of one to make up on the spotlight last time.
You won last time with that made-up joke, though.
True. What do gay horses eat?
Hey.
Hey, girl, hey.
That's terrible.
Small points for humor, but 0 points for originality. Velvet, you got one?
No,
Do you have a dad joke?
No, I haven't actually had any time to do any like actual research into getting a joke together because I've been reading books about physics, and at the moment I'm reading a book about anti-gravity, and it's impossible to put down, if I'm honest.
I knew that was coming, and it still made me giggle.
The anti-gravity.
I'm giving 5 points for that build-up there.
Yeah, I like the build-up was better than the joke.
The segue and the build-up.
They see
You
that's
got me in the
it.
first half. I thought you actually didn't have time.
It's always the finish I struggle with. Ask any of my exes.
Reese struggles with the start.
I struggle with start, finish, and middle.
That's it. There's a lip
Does that
sync
count
in
as
there
a dad joke,
somewhere.
Reese?
But I'm great
Well,
at the plumbing storyline. Oh, my dad joke. It was I did it as like an intro for my stand-up at one thing. So I went on. I was like, let's have some love in the room. Everybody say love.
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 Everybody say love.
Love.
I'm from Loughborough. That's not how we do it in Loughborough. Everybody say love.
Love.
Dixon Stones is here. Everybody say rough.
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 Just insulting Dixon Stones.
I do quite like it. I very much appreciated the digs at Dixon and the digs at Layla Sagittaria throughout Drag Idol. It was like... Because they're the
That
people
one
that
counts
don't tend to get insulted. They're the ones where because everyone loves them, they're just kind of like going, yeah, they're never going to be the butt of a joke, you know. And then you're just like, nope, I'm coming for you.
I'm happy to help.
I'll go where no one else will go. Ironically, as an asexual. I quite enjoyed that one, to be fair. It's kind of a collection of jokes, but we'll take it.
Was that your dad joke?
No. My dad joke is, what do you call a group of anxious dinosaurs? Nervous Rex.
I like that one.
That's genuinely awful.
Really bad, but I enjoy it. I can delete that one from my screenshots of dad jokes now because I'm prepared for this 6 weeks in advance.
Oh God, have you got that many dad jokes?
Although, so I steal mine from an Instagram page that I followed for ages, and I just literally screenshotted a bunch of them for purposes like this.
Thank you for following me.
You're welcome.
So are these dad jokes or DILF jokes?
But no, DILF is a joke. DILFs are very serious.
I actually, sorry, Reese. I had a moment the other week where I was walking down the street, and you know the bit in the Disney film Up, where whenever the dogs hear squirrel, and they immediately all just stop and be like squirrel.
Yeah.
I literally
Is
did
that you with DILF?
but with a DILF, where it was literally my friend was talking to me, and I was like DILF, and they were just like. And they genuinely were like, you were fucking wrong in the head. And I'm just like, oh, I'm sorry.
I don't think I've ever related to you more in my life.
It's the fact of like, I don't have the self-control to just be like, people don't do that. That is not how you, like, it's like the idea of going, oh, my crush is coming, act natural.
I'd love to see Lois on this podcast.
It would be a very different episode.
To be fair, it'd be definitely good to talk to her about like the York scene, because like you're saying, like the lowest common denominator is in the family shambles, which is just such a crazy thing. Like you're saying, because York doesn't have a drag scene, they've allowed their drag scene to be everywhere.
Yeah, Lois is like one of the main ones in the York scene. She's been nice enough to book me. So the family shambles are the ones that they basically are like the whole York scene is like the family shambles. There's like 4 of them that like run it, and then all the performers are part of their shows. But the problem is with like stuff like York Pride and even like York Pride Drag Race, it's run by like the York Pride Committee, and they're very much like they book people who never even performed in York, and they never really give enough space for the family shambles, which is like the big issue that we're all having in York now. So if anyone's listening, York Pride.
Yeah.
Reese Wetherspoon would like to see more family shambles on the main stage.
It's like Drag Race representing the Northeast, isn't it? Or not, as the case may be.
Well, I was going to apply and say, I'm Reese Wetherspoon and I'm from London or Manchester. Please pick me.
Outside of doing drag and doing competitions and selling shots, what do you like to do in your personal time as a hobby?
Oh, that's a tough question. I've not thought about that. We're meant to have free time. Obviously, I like to work in a shop. I don't actually do it for the money. I just really enjoy working in a shop. Hobbies. I did used to do kickboxing in my straight years.
Wow.
When my dad was proud of me, I did kickboxing, and I want to make. But now because I have all the belts and all the different colors, I wanted to make like a drag outfit with all the belts, and it's very rainbow. Should be a very different thing. And I want to do more. I want to do more songs. Because I did my song in the Idol finale, but it wasn't like singing. It was like jokes.
Yeah.
I want to do more of that, but I want to get singing lessons. Maybe that's coming up in the future. Maybe I get singing lessons. Maybe I don't get an air fryer and I get singing lessons instead. Because there's so many songs that I want to do. Because I'm like, I see Gladys and like Latrine that are very inspiring with their parodies. And I want to do like, I touched myself by the Divinals, but I hate myself and it's very real. And then I have Taxes Hold'em, which is like the Beyonce song, but it's It's about me and my fabulous tax evasion.
And 90%
like-
of our government.
I have Don't Bring Me Down, but Slay the House Down.
I think it'd be really good. I mean, the thing is, though, is there anyone that you could ask on the scene? Because obviously the scene has some wonderful singers. There's got to be, like, you know, people who can teach you, like, the basics of singing. Because when I took singing lessons, 90% of it is breath control. It's, you know, 90% of it is basically if you do your breath the same way and you do your scales and stuff, then the rest of it kind of falls into place, rather than, you know, when you expect, oh, it's just singing songs over and over until you get good at them. And it's really not, you know?
I just want to be able to hold a tune at least. I think if I had singing lessons, it would fix me on a very special episode of the Girl Talk.
Like the girl talk.
It's Girl Sing now.
Damn.
And is there also anything you would like to promote? Like, tell our listeners, where can they find you? Not physically, socially.
Well,
Stop,
I'd
she's
love to
16.
promote things. Yeah. As for a lot of things, I would say you can find me at Manhattan's in Wallsend on a Friday, but I don't think this is not the target audience for Wallsend. We're doing a very important show in York on Monday. So there's a singer-songwriter in York called Lily Monarch, and it's her fundraiser for her bottom surgery, and it's called Bottoms Up, and it has all of the York talent and all the York adjacent talent as well, because I'll be there. And it's like a full production show.
Wow.
We have like a screen in the background, we have lighting. It's like the venue is kind of like Boulevard, but in York,
That sounds amazing.
is what I'm going to say. And if you want to prove me wrong, you can buy tickets and they're non-refundable. And obviously, I'm part of Newcastle Glastonbury next Friday. I think you're on it as well, Velvet, for Dylan's fundraiser.
I was having a think there, and I was like, what the hell's this? And then I was like, oh, it's Dylan's. Yeah, that's it for Mixed Drag Great Britain 2024.
So the Flex Offenders are coming back.
Are you excited for that?
I'm so excited. We might do our dry out thing, but we are working on other songs as well, because I want it to be like an actual thing. Like, I want it to, like, you know, oh, what was it? 1-hit wonder. What about now? 2-hit wonder, 3-hit wonder. I want it to be a long-lasting thing, because there's so many more songs that we want to do, like with the remix thing, but we want to do it like as well as the judges.
Yeah.
So we want to have, like, he's a super queen, but she's a shot queen, because we all sell shots every now and then.
Yeah.
And then I want to do Don't Ick My Yum, but it's Don't Grab My Bum. And it's all about NPC customers.
That's a great one.
I love that.
So stay tuned for more Flex Offenders content. We know 2 of us have red reveal dresses. Could we make a third? I think we can.
All 3 of the cast just basically have the same reveal dress. No, but that's going to be really good, though, like Dylan's fundraiser, because we pretty much have everyone on that bill. Like, it's ludicrous. It's like 30-odd performers, and I feel a bit guilty because I'm just reeling out an old number that I haven't done in a while. So I'm purely, you know...
I think a lot of people, we'll see a lot of old numbers, and that's fine.
Well, I think it's this thing where, you know, if it's like a sort of a show and there's only like sort of 4 or 5 people performing, you're like, oh, there's way more focus, so I need to make sure that I do something that's going to grab people. This one, I'm like, I like this number. I haven't done it for fucking ages. And if everyone hates it, they'll forget because there's 20 people afterwards. So it's kind of, so it's very comfortable.
That's part of having like a lot of numbers in your repertoire, so like you can repeat them.
Yeah.
You have my permission.
Yeah, okay, if anyone says, I'm going to be like, I've got Reese Wetherspoon, I have the winner of Drag Idol 2024's permission to be doing this. So go fuck yourself.
Recorded as well, so it's legally binding.
Velvet, you have my permission. Other people, I'll be watching.
Brilliant.
What about you, Velvet?
Velvet?
Oh, Velvet, promotion. I have so much stuff coming up. As we know, I am also a finalist in Mixed Drag Great Britain 2024. So it's all a bit crazy for me at the minute because, you know, all the wonderful finalists we have, I can't name all of them because we have like Gloria Love, we have Bonnie Love, we have Vic the Prick, we have Latrine Lurk has just been a late announcement, which is very exciting. Who else we got? We've got Dylan, as in formerly Drag Idol winner Dildo. We have Bella B. Campbell. We have Hypodermic. We have We have Matilda Sparkles from Hartlepool. And,
I think that's everyone.
and others.
No.
Possibly. Maybe others. But yeah, so with my one, I'm basically going down the merchandise route because people have been asking for Velvet Snatch merchandise for a very long time, and I always hate the idea because the imposter syndrome won't let me actually think that someone might want to buy something with my face on. But so we're throwing around ideas, and we're getting prototypes made for merch at the minute, which is going to be interesting, I think. And so that'll happen, and then later on in the year we'll be doing some kind of big cabaret night and stuff. But I'm just happy that at the moment I can spend some time supporting the other people in the competition, and we can all raise as much money for very good causes such as the Charlie and Carter Foundation and Pride Action North. But if you do want to donate to my particular campaign, you can go to thevelvetsnatch.com/donate, and it will link you to the Just Giving pages for both of my charities. But merch will be coming soon, and all the profits from the merch will go towards the campaign as well.
I'm so excited for Velvet t-shirts.
Yeah.
I'm going to get an oversized one. I'm going to make it into a leotard. And I'm just going to perform as Velvet.
Well, this is the terrifying thing, because one of the things we were looking at was custom fabric and how cheap or affordable it is to get custom fabric printed. And I was like, oh, we could genuinely just do a God Talk dress. I hear God Talk fabric and then just go, Reese, make something out of this, something. See what happens,
That's just what I'd wear all the time.
I love it.
Oh, I should say I'm planning on releasing t-shirts as well. So at the finale, Mother Tucker came in a t-shirt that she made.
Yeah.
It's and it had Reese in sparkly letters, and then it had a Wetherspoons plate underneath. And then a lot of people, well, I'll say about 3 or 4 people asked me about merch, so it's got a lot of demand.
Yeah.
I'm going to sell them as merch, but all the profits are going to go to charity. There's a movement called Women Life Freedom in Iran, and it supports women's rights in Iran, and all the profits will go to that.
Amazing.
As soon as the t-shirts get made.
No, keep us informed, and you can follow Reese on their social medias and be informed of that when that happens. What are your social medias, Reese?
It is Reese Wetherspoon _ because Reese Wetherspoon was taken.
And it's Reese Reese with an S and Wetherspoon with an E?
Yeah, so it's REESE and then Wetherspoon like the pub.
Oh.
Without the S. There's just one.
Right, there we go. Cool.
Don't need any more.
Stuart, anything from you?
We will be doing some press coverage of the Mr. Gay Great Britain, Mr. Gay Europe, Mr. Gay World, and MX Drag Great Britain. I think that covers all 4 of them.
Are you releasing Stuart t-shirts?
I am. I'm releasing Thought of Stu t-shirts coming in 2020 sometime. I don't know what's going to be on them, but we'll do it. The charity for that one is going to be supporting thirsty gays seeking DILFs, because it is a
love that charity.
Trouble close to my heart. Yeah.
So you're keeping all the profits?
Yeah. Yeah. Unlike you two lovely individuals, I need money. So I am the charity. So, just going to use myself. We'll also be at Totally Drag, which will be on the 18th of May. You can get 15% off both tickets and accommodation using code GURL, GURL in capitals, at the checkout. And then I will just be out and about in town. So if you see me, buy me a shot from Reese at Bobby's. And yeah, come to all of these lovely fundraisers. Ben, anything from you?
Nothing at the moment. No, I've got a quiet life. Yeah.
No t-shirts from you?
No, I am in the process of making loads of dog bandanas to use up all my fabric. So I'm going to sell dog bandanas.
Fair.
Whether it be from my personal page or whether I'm going to do a special sewn page to sell dog bandanas, I'm not sure. Watch out. See it happen.
Are these for dogs as in, the pet type, or are they for dogs?
Yeah. No. Yeah. Don't taint my dog bandanas with sexual things. No.
You taint them enough without me mentioning it, sir.
No, my dog always wears a bandana, and it became a thing. And then I had loads of fabric, and I thought, well, these are easy to make. So now I'm just going to make loads and flog them so that I can pay for my overlocker that went on the credit card. So the nice man at Sainsbury's has to worry about it, not me.
Fair.
Brilliant.
I would like a custom bandana also, please, in a slightly larger than dog size.
You've got to wear a collar, the special ones. Sorry.
Now you're making it weird.
I think he'd be fine with wearing a collar.
Yeah. Step it up.
Only for Reese in a non-sexual way.
I heard that as non-sexual.
I've been called that before. I'm an asexual sex icon. That should have been my 3 words.
I think that should be
That
next
should be on a
year's entry.
t-shirt.
Buy my asexual sex god t-shirts, please. It's for Cherry.
Yeah.
That would be amazing merch, to be fair.
You can be the asexual pin-up girl of Newcastle drag scene.
Hello.
Oh, I love
Not
that.
many people can say that.
Exactly.
Unique selling point.
So how are we going to sign off?
Ooh, girl.
Should we all just
We can
do
use that
the... Should we do...
Oh God.
Oh, God. Are we going to do that? Okay.
That sums up how I feel about most days.
Oh,
ladies.
God.
Good.
Oh.
Jesus
How about
Christ.
what if I do I'm, Velvet does Chris, Stu says how, and then Reese can say the rest.
Okay.
And I'm a registered flex offender.
Wait, isn't it hello? What is it?
Hi, it's me. Hi, it's me, Chris Howe, and I'm a registered flex offender.
Okay. So
Love.
you do hi, it's me, Glenn, and I'll say Chris Howe, and then Stu says and I'm and then Reese finishes it.
Okay.
Okay.
Hi, it's me.
Chris Howe.
And I'm a
Registered flex offender.
goodbye.
Hi.
Goodbye.
Because of all my sound effects.
Of course.
Oh, girl.